Okay, so we are right back into another Dragon Ball Super card game video. And this one, as you can see, it's not my deck. I am not alone here. I am with our champion of our last Untapped tournament, Judge Manny himself. How you doing, man?
Yep, I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
It's just another day. Just another deck profile. And I'm happy to do this one because it was really fun to watch and a lot of interesting stuff. But yeah, how do you feel about the whole tournament, by the way? And I forgot to ask you.
The tournament, I liked it. I like the ability of having online tournaments. It removes the user error in a sense of being able to stack your deck and just being able to self-schedule. You're not under a time limit per se of like when you're playing in real life. You know, if you're doing 6, 7, 8 rounds, the organizer's trying to get through it as quickly as possible so everyone can get home, but it doesn't leave room for bathroom breaks, doesn't leave room for eating and whatnot. But with these online tournaments, you know, you could handle all that stuff in between your matches. But the only downside is that we can't have too many people, because then that's just too much. It's a logistical nightmare.
Yeah, it gets really complicated. Even with 16 people, I think it was pretty up there. It was getting a little complicated, but pulled it out. And especially with single elimination, it's good to see. I was happy, especially I know it was free, but still we had a lot of other entrants or people wanted to enter, and I'm glad how it turned out. All the decks that came out, and with the storm restriction, interesting decks. A lot of Shenron, and I meant to do a breakdown, but I do believe we had over 6 Shenron decks, 4 androids, and a lot of other miscellaneous decks that we had. 2 Goku Blacks, which is just ridiculous. It was just like
and that's the fact that they got paired in round 1.
I was like, what? I didn't do that on purpose. I literally shuffled the sheets like 4 times. So.
Oh, I know.
But it just happened. That was interesting to see. This is the deck that you took. This is a aggro deck, and as we go into the visual sort of thing here, and kind of understand what it looks like, and it's very red. It's very aggro, like I said. So, we didn't really talk about the matchups. Do you remember the matchups at all?
Yep, I write them down.
Oh, good. Okay, cool. Well, there you go. I was just like, what happened there? Okay, so let's talk through the matchups. What were your matchups so far?
Round 1, I played against Shenron Gogeta. Round 2 was Shenron Beerus Control. Round 3 was Trunks Red Aggro, and round 4 was against Droid. Okay,
cool. So that's an interesting type of like a nice little cesspool, right?
Yeah, it was different matchups, different plays on all of them.
Definitely, and we'll get into the plays as far as like what was the best matchup, what was the worst, etc., etc. Before we even do that, I want you to kind of go through the deck. And I know we're kind of jumping around, but I want to make sure that we get all information out there. But for all of this, looks like it's focused on, you know, the aggressive red cards like Quick Rush Trunks, intensifying power, everybody's power to make sure you get through all the Earthlings that are in here. The Burst Attack Gohan, which is really helpful and really aggressive, and then Fearless Pan, which I've seen get dropped so many times, and then the random tech, the Bardox. So you go through it, and I'll kind of set it up where we can see all the other cards.
Oh, basically we'll just start from top left to the top right, or we'll just go down the list. So okay, basically the Dependable Mom Bulma and the Saiyan Daughter Bula were filler cards.
Okay.
Because when I was originally designing the deck, I based it off of the Pan aggro, and without Pan's effect of dropping a battle card, getting the plus, and a possible draw, I said, what would be some of the original aggro cards? So the basis of the deck was to crit and hand control.
Okay.
So that's where the Intensifying Power Trunks, Quick Rush Trunks, and Burst Attack came in.
Right.
Those are your 3 main attackers. Okay. The Fearless Pan is there to hopefully be dropped either with Chain Attack Trunks or Child's Wish, which was the MVP of the deck. Because every card in there minus Chain Attack Trunks is a Child's Wish target.
Yeah. So why the Chain Attack Trunks? Why did you put that in there? Obviously, you have 2 targets to evolve, but why did you do that?
The chain attack trunks is used to just keep dropping battle cards.
Okay.
The more of the crit attackers I can get on the field to be able to Child Wish Fearless Pants, the better, because then each of those become double strike critical.
Mm-hmm.
And most people don't want to take just a regular critical hit, and so most people are not going to take a double strike critical hit.
Right.
And all the critters are all 15k. They're base 15k.
Right.
So with Pants plus 5, they're already at 20. So on just a normal no combo attack, a person's already going to have to drop 10k, either a super combo or 2 5k.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Okay. And then everybody's pal Yamcha, pretty much half the deck, if not all of the deck, has targets for that, right?
It's all the deck except for, I think it was...
Just Bar...
Awaken Power Bardock, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Even the super combo you can get, so that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it can search any of the cards. So that's what he was there for. I try to avoid attacking with him to the leader. I always hope that they have some kind of battle card that I could attack, because he doesn't need to attack a leader. It's just when he attacks.
Right.
I get the search and the plus.
Mm-hmm.
If needs be, then of course I'll attack a leader. But remember how I originally said about the deck, it's not just an aggro crit, but it's also aggro crit control, in the sense of, like how I said, when you're attacking, most people do not want to take a crit attack.
Yeah.
Less a double strike crit attack. So people are going to combo out of a double strike crit.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say hand control, they're comboing out 2-3 cards out of hand to avoid that double strike crit.
Right.
So that's where I say the hand control comes into play. So if I can avoid attacking the leader card with Yamcha, the better. If not, oh well, it's just one extra card.
Right. And yeah, I did see that. I think it was in the Android matchup where you put out the everybody's pal, but then didn't attack. Just so you didn't give.
I think I brought him on my turn 2, and I didn't attack with him because, again, on that specific round, I didn't want to give him hand advantage, because at that time he only had, I think, 2 or 3 cards in his hand almost the entirety of that game of the match.
Right.
So I said, why attack him? I can't do fatal, so why am I going to give him hand advantage?
Exactly. Plus, with Android, and I don't think he was actually awakened, so I would just...
He was not.
Yeah,
I kept him unawakened at 7 for, I think we reached turn 4 or 5 before I started really attacking him.
For sure. Yeah, that's just good. It's good as far as that goes. And of course, we have 7 Dragon Balls. You don't play the 1-star ball. Is there any reason for that?
No, because on that current build on your tournament, it was just about trying to thin out the deck as quick as possible.
Okay.
Because I'm not really trying... I do try to get certain cards like the Fearless Pan into the drop so I can Child Wish it out, but I rather do it on my combo step to defend, because my life points are key. I'm trying to stay at 8 life the most possible. So I have no... Because remember, all the battle cards can be Child Wished out.
Yeah, and they're easy to combo. I don't think you have any 1Ks or 10K.
There is no one cost 10Ks. So everything is just 0 cost, and everything can be resurrected with Child's Wish minus Chain Attack and Awakened Power.
Right. And you know the busted ass part that I just realized, that I probably realized this before, but now just pointing this out, is that Fearless Pan can always be Child's Wish. Like, I don't think there is one warping ignore barrier card that we have yet. So even if it gets KO'd after blocking or ignoring barrier and KO'd, she can still come back no matter what. Like, we still...
She'll come back the next turn.
Yeah, we literally still do not have any ignore barrier warp. So Bandai, if you're listening to us, probably should have that sometime or another.
Well, they're coming out in Clash of Fates. They have the ignore barrier.
But to warp though.
Oh, to warp? No, they just goes to drop.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, she's
the only card right now that even sends to warp is just Mass Saiyan.
And
I think.
Fu.
And Fu, yeah.
And the SR Demigra, I think. And Mass Saiyan. The 3-drop that awakens. And wait. Yeah, okay, that's all I really have.
Either way, but they can't. Yeah. But they're choose cards.
Yeah. So it doesn't even matter. That's what I'm saying. I think that's something that's just like crazy to me. That Fearless Pan will always forever live. Like that is just crazy to me. Just with the 4 Child's Wish and just not being able to get to warp, it's just wild. So
correct.
Overall, yeah, and I think the only cards you didn't go over is the Bardock, the Dragon Radar, which is kind of self-explanatory, right? But why the Bardock in this match? Or this?
So let me start with the Dragon Radar first. So Dragon Radar is used to generally, depending on game flow, it depends on how game flow is going. Mm-hmm. If it's turning into a grinding match, I'll either use it to try to get all my Child's Wishes back, because again, as long as I keep some of those crit attackers, I'm trying to bring out a pan every turn and keep swinging those with those double strike crits.
Right.
So they're 20k double strike crit every turn.
Yeah.
So, like I said, they're gonna have to drop 2 cards each time, and when they only draw 1, they're not for their turn. They're not replenishing their hand. Mm-hmm. So and then the crit attackers act like pseudo blockers, because now they're focused on that, saying, "Oh man, this guy has crit attackers. I have to get rid of him," which protects my life. So depending on the game flow, Dragon Radar is either used to draw 2 or to always. You always want to have a Child's Wish in hand to keep bringing out the Fearless Pan. The Fearless Pan was the MVP of the day.
Yeah, no, totally. That thing was crazy. Her and in the best of 3 Haru, but we'll get to that in a second.
Oh yeah,
the Haru was just fucking wild.
Basically, all the cards that are just the 3 of minus Dragon Radar were, to say they were my filler cards.
Okay.
The basic design is I just put the crit attackers minus the quick rush, because he's a 2-drop as compared to the intensifying, but you have to crit, or you have to take a life to get him crit. So from after looking at my win condition, which is double strike crit,
mm-hmm.
I said the next thing is how to get to them, which is of course either drawing or searching and drawing.
Right.
So Bula can search out any of the GT, Bulma, or Vegeta.
Right.
So Bula can search Quick Rush, Intensifying, or Chain Attack, because they're Trunk GTs.
Yeah.
Or even Dependable Mom.
Right.
And Dependable Mom is just tap, draw a card, and boost a battle card by 5k. So because the adage of deck thinning is deck winning.
Yeah.
So
especially when you have a lot of tutors like this.
Mm-hmm. So that they were just mainly there for, like I said, searching and drawing if I didn't have a turn 1 play, which is mainly just the Intensifying Power Trap.
Okay, that makes sense.
So then my spice of the deck was my Awakened Warrior Bardock, which when for the few people that saw it, which was Joel in my round 3,
mm-hmm.
and in the finals with Chuck, when I first charged it, he said, "What the heck is that?"
Yeah.
Most people were very thrown off by it, because they're like, "Hey, that's an overwhelm."
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, since this is an aggro deck, I'm attacking every time that I can, because I should be able to have some kind of crit attacker even on my first attack turn.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep attacking them. So by the time that I get to my turn 3 or turn 4, I might be able to have the opponent down to 4 life, which in that turn, if I could get a double strike critter where I'm not playing against a Mafuba deck,
mm-hmm.
where I don't have to fear a Mafuba or a Time Magic, then I'm going to use Shenron's ultimate to give that double strike critter its triple attack.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have a double strike crit, 20 base attack, triple attacker, while I keep an Awakened Warrior Bardock in my hand. So because I've now removed the 7 Dragon Balls, I don't have to worry about overwhelming them. So if I'm able to drop them to 2 life within those 3 attacks,
yeah.
If they try to survive those triple attacks, and they stay at 2 life after my triple attacks, they more than likely never had a hand after that, or any more negates, and then that's when I overwhelm for the Awakened Warrior, mm-hmm. and he's a base 20k double striker, which for the few people that I played it on, threw them off. They said, who plays Overwhelm with Shenron?
You do. But I mean, that's still yeah, no, that's still a good idea. I mean, as long as you have that requirement after, which most of the time, after the 7 Dragon Balls, you're going to be looking at, 4 to 10 cards in the drop still, especially late game.
Right.
So I mean, that's still a really good thing to kind of think of. And even if you play like 2 Scientist Fu for whatever reason, you can still do that because you're most likely going to have that requirement, and it's not that big of a deal as long as you use that ultimate. And
now, the one reason that I didn't play the Scientist Fu was because of its 1 cost to activate.
True.
The deck, Rago deck, or red aggro decks in Dragon Ball tend to run off of the basis of you should never leave any turn with energy untapped, because 1, I don't run any 10k or 1 cost 10k, so I don't need to keep energy untapped.
Right, and you don't have any gates.
And I don't run any gates because I'm playing aggro, so the only cards I wanted to keep in my hand were attacking battle cards or Child Wishes to bring back that battle cards that were in draw.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, I think that's an interesting take, and I think this is full on, making sure to be efficient with your energy, and as well as just aggro, which is just wild to me. So we didn't go through all the cards. We kind of talked through it, and I think at this point in the time in the game, we don't really need to explain Shenron. If you need a quick breakdown, go check out my Shenron Explained video. That I did a whole breakdown on all the Shenron leaders. But
very good explaining video.
Oh, thank you, appreciate it. And yeah, I mean for Dragon Ball, it's just search the deck or life, and then get 2 Dragon Balls, get a Desire, and then the triple attack and 10k is this ultimate. So speaking of that, what's usually your ultimate target? So is it intensifying Power Trunks? Because that is a baller.
It really depends on what I'm able to have on the fatal turn, or on the turn that I decide to try to go for the win. It will always be one of the crit attackers. The best one, you did mention it on your commentating of the final round, is intensifying Power Trunks. If I'm able to get him with a double strike from Pan on my attempt to win turn, he is bonkers, because he will jump from his base 5 to 10 with Fearless Pan, gets double strike.
Yeah.
Plus a lot of people
triple, which is 10k.
And then when he gets a triple, he gets another 10k. So he's a base 20k before doing his auto. Now, a lot of these cards probably weren't designed with Shenron in mind. Cards getting double attack or triple attack, because like intensifying Power Trunks and even other cards that mimic him, like Black Mass Saiyan, they gain their power boost, their 10k power boost, for the duration of the turn, as opposed to like say Champa and East Kai that only give double strike for the duration of that battle.
Yeah, definitely.
So intensify Power Trunks on, I think he won me my round 1 and round 2. When I went in for the fatal, so again, he gets a 20k base after Dragon Balls Ultimate and Fearless Pan. So with a triple strike, he pumps up to 30 on the first attack. Second attack, he goes to 40k, and on the third attack, he's 50k base. So each time he's buffing up by 10 on his own. And that's not saying if I have my super combos or any other combo cards in my hand to bump them up each time. Which most of the time, I would bump them up to 40 on the first attack, and then do a base 40, and then just go all in on the final, with the idea of having an Awakened Warrior Bardock in my hand again, in case if I can't win on those 3 triple attacks.
Right. And I think the other part of it is whatchamacallit. I was literally looking at the card, and I was just like, wait, I lost my train of thought. It's okay. I was thinking of intensifying Power Trunks, and oh, you're netting 3 cards. That's what I was thinking of. I was like, what am I even thinking?
And then so
every single time.
And then on top of that, each time I'm plussing 1 card from my life. So, which more than likely is more combo fodder, because other than the Dragon Balls, Dragon Radar, and Child's Wish, everything is a 5k combo.
Yeah, which you're going to be using anyways. Like, those are going to be out the way. most of the time.
Correct.
Yeah. So it's really good. It's really good. Really good aggro mindset, I think, and it really played out well throughout the whole tournament. You went undefeated, right? 4-0.
I went 4-0, 8-0. I didn't drop a single match or a single game.
Oh, nice.
This tournament.
Very cool. Very cool. So we talked through the matchups, and basically, I'll probably get him from when you said it before. I'll put it up on the screen. And I'll throw it in there. I'll edit it in there. But what was the toughest matchup for you, do you think?
The toughest matchup was against Joel in round 3. His Trunks red aggro.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Because even though I think, I do have the Crisis Crushers in my side deck, but it threw me off that someone else played a red aggro. I was really hoping that someone played Yamcha, but no one did. But it did throw me off because I don't know. I just felt like more people. None of the meta decks are aggro per se.
They're mostly control. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, they're mostly control.
Yeah. So other than Storm, which I guess is a pseudo aggro deck, but with your restriction, no one was able to play Storm. Mm-hmm. So that's why I chose this deck design. But when he had Trunks red aggro, I said, oh, he almost won game 1 because he just went real aggro from the beginning. He dropped an intensifying power Trunks on me, and I don't remember why I couldn't get rid of it. Or no, he played it on his, because I went first, and he played it on his first turn attack, and I think I just couldn't get anything into the drop, and I think I didn't draw a Child's Wish. So I was just sitting blank. He was just attacking, and I had to keep comboing out, hoping to draw a Child's Wish, and I wasn't.
Right. Okay.
So other than that, I mean, not to take away from any of my matchups, I felt confident the entire way throughout all the matchups. Once I saw what they were playing from, like, my round 1 Gogeta, I think he charged a Gogeta in the first turn. Mm-hmm. So once I saw that, I said, oh, he's just trying to ramp up to 5 energy with objection or without. I'm already attacking my turn 1, turn 2 with double strike critters. He's not going to have much to do or much to defend. Yeah. And same thing with my round 2. He was Shenron Beerus control. Same thing. He was just trying to ramp up to 5 and 7 energy to world peace.
Right.
And I'm already dropping them to 4-2 life by the time that they're at 3-4 energy. Mm-hmm. And even then, both of them were able to get their cards out, their Gogeta and their Beerus. But at that time, I'm already, okay, let me drop 6 energy for your Beerus. But you're only hitting me for double strike. I'm at 7 life. Mm-hmm. I'll gladly take those 2 cards.
Right, exactly. Okay. So there's 2 concerns as far as me, or for this deck for me. Because I'll play this. It looks like this looks fun. But in that respect, like I know we made changes. You made changes, and we'll talk about that. But the other thing is negate. So you mentioned Time Magic and Mafuba. So how do you play around that?
There's no playing around it. This is aggro. You have to attack. You cannot. You have to take the risk of them playing the Mafuba, because the longer you drag out the games, the more that they can draw into their pieces to achieve their victory condition. Mm-hmm. So it's just about playing, it's not strategy, but just knowing to play. If they're playing blue and they have 2 untapped energy, you have to assume that they're going to have the Mafuba. Yeah. But my more cautious play would be to try to get them down to 2 life before I use Shenron's ultimate, as opposed to doing it if they're at 6 or 4 life.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense.
Because again, no one wants to take a double strike critter, so comboing out 2 or playing the Mafuba, it's their choice.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's pretty straightforward. The other thing is removal. So, like Deadly Defenders and other things like that nature. Was there anything or any concerns about that?
Luckily, I didn't play. The control in round 2 was more in the sense that he played 1-drop balls and other things that just made me drop cards out of my hand.
Mm-hmm.
The only person that played any Deadly Defender was in the finals against androids, but with that matchup, he didn't have much of hand size, so he wasn't able to really protect the Deadly Defender that long.
You're right.
So when he only had 3-4 cards in hand, plays the Deadly Defender, now he goes down to 2 and 3 cards. My next turn, even he did play like King Vegeta Surprise. I lost a burst attack that attacked it, but I just end my turn after that because I'm not going to keep attacking and losing battle cards.
Right.
And again, so I'm not going to get rid of it that turn. I'm still at a healthy hand size between 5 to 10 cards, and he's still only at 2 or 3 cards. There's no way that he's going to, and I'm at 6-7 life. He's not going to hit me for 6-7 life with 3 to 4 cards in his hand with only a Deadly Defender and maybe a Cell.
Right, exactly. Okay.
So
makes sense.
But that was just that matchup.
Okay.
So sure. I was just lucky not to face a control deck in this tournament.
That. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Okay. So that's interesting. So we have you played in the ARG tournament, the Christmas one, right? Pretty recently.
Yeah. So now talking about an ARG, I played it yesterday on.
Let me switch over. To
Saturday the 5th.
Right. So this is the one that you play. This is the updated one, right?
No, so now this deck that you're showing is the changes that I made after the rounds that I played in that tournament yesterday.
Oh, okay. So you played the same deck. This one.
I played the exact same deck.
Okay. Okay.
So
how did that go? you tell me.
Okay, so we played 5 rounds that tournament, and my round matchups went 1 through 5. Went Android, Hero Veggies, U7 Frieza Victory Strike,
okay,
Janemba Mill Control, and Hercule. Okay.
What?
So, yeah. So it was very diverse. We had 14 people, and I don't think no one played the same deck.
Okay.
And there was, other than the 2 Storm players. And oddly enough, the 2 Storm players only topped 8 out of the 14. But they were 6th and 5th place, I believe. What was
the top 3? What the heck?
Top 3 was U7 Victory Strike.
Of course.
The Hero Veggies was 2nd, and a Shenron Beerus Maiden.
Sure.
was 3rd. Yeah.
Sure.
But it really came down to the matchups. A lot of people said that they didn't really face too many of their difficult decks.
Yeah.
So going down the matchups, the Android match went pretty straightforward, just like my finals match with Chuck on your tournament. It went almost exactly the same way.
Okay.
So there's not much to say on that. Now, my round 2, I made a very big rookie mistake where round 1, he beat me, but I felt because it was just about him dropping the Kaba. He hit on every search from his Kaba and the 4-drop Khalifa that brought out the kill. He hit on everything. I lost the round 1 on his turn 3. So no big deal. I said, let me just side in Black Mass Saiyan for that. On our game 2, I was distracted by other people that were thrown off by my deck choice because people were coming by saying, "Hey Manny, why are you playing? You're playing red Shenron? No one's seen this."
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, okay. Well, that's what I'm playing." On the start of my round 2, I drew my hand, placed my energy. I drew a Black Mass Saiyan. I said, I dropped it. I'm thinking, I got you. I went to go search for Dragon Balls. I noticed I didn't put my life.
Oh, yikes.
And so he was quick to point it out. He said, "Hey, you don't have life." I said, "Well, I am a judge, and I'm not going to try to argue the facts." So I scooped it up, and I said, "Hey, you got the match. I mean, what can I do? Rookie mistake.
Man.
No big deal."
Okay.
So now my round 3 was streamed on Twitch.
Okay.
It was with on the Super Players Twitch. They were the ones that hosted the tournament.
Oh yeah. I think I have the link. I'll put it in the description.
So I streamed. There was a few people from our Discord channel. People, if you want to get in on our meta talks and non-meta talks, join Android's Discord channel. We have a lot of discussions on there. So there was a few people from the Discord that were watching the match because Tony G and Michelle from Super Players were telling me, "Hey, Manny, a lot of people are saying hi to you and good luck." And I said, "Hey, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you." So my round 3, I played against U7 Frieza Victory Strike against Brian Samuel. He's from Intricate Gaming.
Yeah, he took Vegas, I think.
He took Vegas with the same deck with U7 Frieza Victory Strike, and he top 16, I think, in Nationals as well.
Oh, right.
So he's pretty accredited. He knows his stuff. Amazing player and very good person. I loved playing against him. We were chit-chatting the entire time. He was thrown off, too, when I first placed my red energy, and he said, "What the heck? Shenron with red?" He's like, "You're not playing Gogeta? You're not playing...
It's good.
I don't know what else." He was ready to play against Gogeta.
Yeah.
Because he said, "Oh, so it's just a race to 5 energy. It's just a race to 5 energy now."
Yeah.
And so he got very thrown off. So that matchup led me to the whole changing of the side deck. So the new deck just really had a few changes.
Yeah.
So the Victory Strike hit me with not having Dende.
Okay.
Dende would have been amazing against him because he's objectioning up to 5 energy so he could get the Victory Strike. Dende would have just decimated him because I would have been able to use Dende every single one of my turns, and he would have never been able to pass 3 energy.
Exactly.
Because with Dende, he has a very weird effect that as long as they place the energy...
At any time of the game.
At any time of the game, then you can keep using his effect. So him being in Shenron, I could keep just Child Wishing for free, get him out, pay his energy cost for 2, blow up in energy. So I can just keep doing that as long as I have a Child Wish in my hand. And every time he gets played, you draw a card. Yeah. So that led me to change putting him in to the side deck because of having the original Corona just didn't make sense because for whatever past fear that I had of Shigesh led me to put Corona in the side deck. But then after having that loss, I said, what card could I have taken? Because one thing about me, I don't say I'm a good player, but one thing good players do is they analyze all their matches, wins or losses, to see where they could have done better plays, to see if they misplayed, or if already thinking of what cards to switch, ratios, and whatnot.
Definitely.
So after my loss against his deck, I said, what card could have really helped me out? Which, of course, I thought of Dende. Then I said, what card can I take out of my side deck? Which I had no issues of already looking at Corona. And then once I got home and thought it over, I looked at every yellow leader, and I said, well, first off, there's no meta yellow leader as of this moment yet. And I said, for the few that would play a yellow leader, and if they're playing Shigesh, they have to have the Shigesh explosive and be under 4 energy. And for my deck, I don't go all in on any of my attacks, so I don't know why I was fearing Shigesh. So that led me to change Dende out. And then Janemba Mill was the other thing. Now, you originally asked me about Control and Deadly Defender. That deck, as soon as he brought out Vegito, I was stuck in the water. He always had either a Dimension Magic or he was able to combo out because I don't inherently combo in the deck. So that was a big thing. And I said, I had no answers in my side deck. I don't play Kami because I don't want to lose my own cards. So I said, what card could I use? Again, analyzing after the loss, I said, oh, well, the easiest way to get rid of barrier blockers, in a sense, or the Vegito or a Deadly Defender Vegeta, is Zeno. I already have Chain Attack Trunks in the deck. I might as well put in Zeno. Even then, he could also be used for energies because for Child's Wish or Dragon Radar. So he's never really a dead card.
Right.
And then Hercule was the same thing. He was a win. It's just more about constant pressure. yeah, he can draw through the deck, but it doesn't matter if he has to use all his 10Ks and Goku's and yeah. So, so talking about those changes, which led because, like I said, we had Brian Samuel there. We had a few other top-ranking players from our West Coast. Though that led me to the changes that I made here, which makes it more meta. Which for the Zeno gets rid of any blockers, any deadly defenders, and for the few times that sometimes it would even work against Janemba, because I keep a bunch of battle cards in deck, or I mean on the field, let me just wipe it clean. Let's restart, because sometimes that Janemba deck had like 5-6 cards in hand. I could not lower their hand size. It really sucks.
Right. Yeah, that definitely doesn't. Just keep cycling through their deck through the 10Ks, and the Vegito kind of delays everything.
And then that was pretty much it. That's why the changes that I made, like I said, were very minor. I took away the deck thinning of the Bula and Bulma and replaced it with Zeno, which would in turn kind of do the same thing, because it would just scoop up whatever battle cards I have, put them back in deck, and more than likely I would just draw them, because the deck is so thin. I have all the cards are 4-ofs now.
Right.
So the chance of drawing any one of them again is going to happen. And then just dropping them again for either Child Wish or just playing them outright.
Definitely. Definitely. I think overall, after all those changes and matchups, I think this is a good way to do it. I've personally, this is just me, I never like having 4 Zeno in deck, because it just becomes a dead card after a while. But it makes sense to see it as much as possible, and it's not that big of a deal to charge it either if you know, half your deck is red and you really don't need to actually rely on the energy because you have Child's Wish and all the other stuff.
Correct.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's not that big of a deal. And maybe another card, maybe Frost. Like, have you ever considered Frost too over Zeno, or no?
The reason that I didn't play any of the other, I guess to say better red cards like Frost or Foreseeing Hit is because I don't want to use my energy for just a 4-drop that gets me a temporary relief. So, like, the Frost might get me rid of that Vegito, but then I can't do any more plays.
Right.
Where if with the Zeno, by having the Crit Rush or Intensifying Power Trunks, I can either drop a chain attack with 3 energy, or use a Child Wish to get a Crit Rush and then 2 energy for chain attack Trunks and Zeno.
Yeah.
And then resets the board, and I still have either 2 to 3 energy open for another Child Wish, and continuing plays again after that.
Okay. Okay. That's good. All right. So there you have it. That's pretty much it, right? I don't think there's really much else.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I talked about the changes. So basically the changes again were I put in 4 Zeno in the main deck, took out the Bulma and Bula, and just maxed out on all the red cards again. Just made 4 because those are the cards that you want. Those are the cards that you want to play. Those are the cards that you're going to charge. The side deck was only changing, taking out Corona and putting in Dende, which is more useful right now until some future cards that you and me were already talking about that might bring back a very good yellow leader. So stay tuned for that, because I know Android's brewing that, and he will have a video for that later.
Dog, I have like 4 Clash of Fate decks I gotta get out. But
overall, your tournament was fun. It's fun playing online because we do it at our own pace within a time limit. We're able to observe most other people's matches because some people play in the morning, afternoon, evening. Some play on day 1. Some people play on day 2. So we're all able to entertain each other by watching each other's matches. So that's the good thing about your online tournaments, or just online play in general.
Yeah, definitely.
Closing thoughts, I just hope that you keep doing some more tournaments, and everyone should join the Discord. I know we're getting a lot more people recently. I've been noticing that the Discord is getting a ton more people on the daily.
Which I'm very happy about. People, not even myself, are sending out invites, which I'm glad that's happening. As the competitive season starts coming back up, we're probably gonna get more people, which should be interesting. and that's what the Discord's for, and for like other games, of course. But hopefully that'll keep going, and yeah, definitely more tournaments. I think the next one will probably be open for signups in the next couple days. I gotta discuss that with everybody, but then most likely open up the signups this week, and then start it probably next Saturday, this coming Saturday. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, so it's already coming up. So the best way to find that out is to be on the Discord, because we obviously always get first opportunity to sign up for that, because we're told before everyone else.
Exactly. But then, other than that, I am happy that you won. I'm happy that I sent out those cards. I happy that it all went well, and that everybody can see this deck and hopefully enjoy it. So that's really about it, right?
And one last thing to say, at the tournament yesterday, this deck still gained a lot of notoriety because people were so confused by it. They said, "What is that? How does it play? How are you doing all those plays?" And on our feature match, me and Brian's feature match, we went into time. He ended up winning. He actually beat me by beating me with the Ready to Fight Son Goku, or I forgot the actual name, but the one-drop searcher for Universe 7.
Yeah, you got it.
And he comboed it to 15k, and I didn't have any combo cards in my hand. So.
And then it just ended up being a win?
People and even Tony G and C-Rod, everyone was just quiet. Everyone, if they watched the stream, that's what they kept saying. They're like, everyone's quiet. We're just waiting to see what happens, what's going on. So the deck's really fun. It's very aggro. It's control in the or hand control. So it just really throws people off. And I was excited by how many people have hit me up on social media asking me questions about the deck, how to play it.
Right.
So I mean, it's a basic red pan aggro deck from the past, but with Child's Wish, the abuse goes.
It makes it stupid.
it made it stupid. Oh, so we didn't talk about it real quick. Was about my finals match against Android with my Haru siding.
Oh yeah. Oh, you don't have to talk about that. I'm gonna link the gameplay there. I want everybody to watch it. It's all there. I don't want to talk about that.
Well, let me just give the one long story, because I know I misplayed, because I tried to take back a play and you called me out on it, and I said you're right, and I put the card back down. But it was my first time actually playing with Haru. So it threw me off, because the plays with Haru were so nutty of untapping 4. You guys need to watch my finals match, because especially when I went in for the win, I went from having 2 battle cards to I think I ended up with 8 because of the Haru.
Yeah, just ridiculous. So absolutely,
it was ridiculous.
And that may be a problem card in the future, but then at the same time, it's really good that we do have Haru, because when yellow leaders and as well as all the green support that we're getting, they're gonna get only better in the future, and we need something that keeps that in check in a competitive basis, and Haru does that. Yeah, so
it does.
We'll see.
All right, guys. I appreciate it, Android. I appreciate you having me on here and explaining everything.
Yeah, definitely. I'm happy to do it. And again, check out the gameplay if you haven't already. Join the Discord. Subscribe if you're new. Like, dislike, comments, and Judge Manny will obviously be here for any comments if there's any. And we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, we are all always open and available on the Discord.
Yeah, baby. See ya.